What is up guys, welcome back to the most underrated PC building YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be building for you guys a gaming PC under $350 US. Not only would this PC be using DDR4, it'll also be using a 10th gen Intel Core i3. It'll also have a 4GB dedicated graphics card. Now with that being said, before I continue to talk about the parts list, please smash that like button and subscribe button so you won't become Big Chungus. That's right, I said Big Chungus. If you don't subscribe right now, you will become Big Chungus in 5 seconds. Alright, let's get to the parts list. For the processor, I was able to get this Intel Core i3-10100 for only $100 on Facebook Marketplace. This CPU is pretty much the best price to performance CPU you could get in 2021. It has 4 cores and 8 threads, so it's basically like those older generation Intel i7s, except it has way better IPC for gaming. To cool the CPU, I was able to use this Hyper T2 cooler that I got from my friend for free, but sadly only included the AMD mounting hardware. But because I had a ring adapter, I was able to successfully mount it to the CPU and it worked flawlessly. For the motherboard, since we're using an i3-10100, I could get away with using a cheaper LGA 1200 motherboard, which is why I got this H410M motherboard from ASRock for $45 off Facebook Marketplace. One downside to choosing this motherboard is that I wouldn't recommend you using any CPU that's more powerful than an i5. Because the VRMs on H410 motherboards is just not enough to handle anything more than a 6 core. Even at 6 cores, it's pushing it. Now for the kit of RAM, I actually got an insane deal on this. A 16GB kit of DDR4 running at 2666 MHz for $50. In context, people usually sell 16GB of DDR4 at around $60 to $100 on the used market. And a 2666 MHz kit of 16GB DDR4 is the perfect speed for the i3-10100. Anything above that, it wouldn't really make any difference. Now for the storage devices, this is pretty standard for my videos, which is 120GB SSD for $20 and a 500GB hard drive for $10. And here is another downside to using a cheap H410M motherboard, which was the fact that I could not use an M.2 SSD. But M.2s are usually more expensive than SATA anyway, so you'll be saving yourself some money. Now for the power supply, I was able to grab this Kruger 400W 80 plus bronze unit for $40 brand new at Canada Computers, but since then they have sold out of the unit. And at 400W, it should be just enough to power an i3-10100 and a GTX 960 4GB. Now for the graphics card, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, it is the GTX 960 4GB. I was able to get this graphics card for $80, which I think was a pretty good deal in 2021. This card is basically on par with the GTX 1050 Ti 4GB, except it uses a little bit more power. If you want to go outside and buy a GTX 960 right now, at $100 to $120 price point would be a pretty sweet deal at the moment. Finally, the case that's gonna house all the components in, it is the Deepcool Matrix 43FS. 3FS just means that it came with 3 static RGB fans, but I took those 3 static RGB fans out for another build, and instead replaced them with 3 RGB fans that I bought off AliExpress for $25. Not gonna lie, these fans are really trash. The RGB on them is complete garbage as seen in all the footage I have shown today, but the airflow is still quite alright. With all the parts talked about, let's pull up a price tally for today's build, and then get to the time lapse and then the benchmarks.
Turn around and everything has changed. Looking for a way to work it out. I'm trying to find some peace
Hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse. Now let's get to the benchmarks.
Come and fly away with me. 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 Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die, so come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views.
And that was the gaming PC under $350 USD. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment down below and let me know what you would have done differently, or any suggestions for any future videos. Now with that being said, if you liked the video, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you didn't like the video, still give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because it will help me a lot. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, you will become a big chungus.